My dear students, welcome back to our maths class. Here I am Sajini John. Today we are going to learn about reflection. Okay, this chapter is from Unit 3 Coordinate Geometry. Before starting reflection, you have to remember the coordinates of a point. Do you remember coordinates of a point? Coordinates are used to locate the position of a point in a plane. You can see a graph uh, here, okay, and you can see two coordinate axes. Which are the two coordinate axes? We know that x-axis and y-axis. Actually, this x-axis is a number line and y-axis is also a number line. These two are the two mutually perpendicular number lines intersecting each other at their zeros. They are called coordinate axes, right? And the position of a point in a plane is expressed by a pair of two numbers, okay, called coordinates. Here you can see a point A. Its x coordinate is 3 and its y coordinate is 2. Okay? And many other points you can see here. Here this point is 4 0. This point is 1 0. This point is 0 3, like this. And one more thing you have to remember, what is the equation of x-axis? Actually, you have already learned it. Equation of x-axis is y is equal to 0 and equation of y-axis is x is equal to 0. How did you get it? Do you know that? Why the equation of x-axis is called y is equal to 0? What is the reason? You know that? Suppose you can choose any point on x-axis at this place. What is the coordinate of this point? That is 4 0. If we choose this point, its coordinates are 3 0, here 2 0, here 1 0, 0 0, minus 1 0, minus 2 0. If we take any point on x-axis, its y coordinate is 0. That is why the equation of x-axis is y is equal to 0. Remember this. Okay. And similarly, equation of y-axis is x is equal to 0. Now, we can start that reflection. Then what is reflection? You just see, when an object is placed before a plane mirror, you just see this. Suppose it is the plane mirror. This AB is the plane mirror. It's a plane mirror. When an object is placed before a plane mirror, the image formed is at the same distance behind the mirror as the object is in front of it. Can you see? One flower is placed before the plane mirror and the image of this flower is formed at the same distance behind the mirror. That is what reflection. Okay, suppose this flower is 1 meter away from this mirror, then the image is formed 1 meter behind the mirror. That is what reflection. We can connect it with the points. Okay, now you can see here this point. This point is 2 2. 2 2. Point A is 2 2. We can reflect this point on x-axis. This is x-axis. Consider it as the mirror. So the image of A is formed where? At this place, at the same distance, okay, from this line. So this is the reflection of A in the x axis, that is A dash, that is 2 minus 2. Okay, 2 minus 2, that is A dash. Now you can see some more examples. In this figure, this point A is 2, 3. When A is reflected in the x-axis, here, that is A dash, it becomes 2 minus 3. See, when a point is reflected in the x-axis, the sign of its y-coordinate changes. Here, minus 3. When the same A is reflected in the y-axis, that is A2 dash, the image is formed here, that is minus 2, 3. When a point is reflected in the y-axis, the sign of its x-coordinate changes. Okay, remember that. Now, suppose this A is reflected in the origin, so the image is formed at this distance from the origin, so the image is formed only here. So now you can see that A3 dash is minus 2 minus 3. So when a point is reflected in the origin, its sign of its both x coordinate and y coordinate changes. Okay, remember all these things. Suppose this point 3, 0 is reflected in the x-axis itself, so no change in that point because that point is already lie on the same axis, same line. This point is known as invariant point. Okay, now generally we can say that mxxy, that is reflect xy in the x-axis, the image is x minus y. Its sign of its y coordinate changes. When reflected in the y-axis, sign of its x coordinate changes. When reflected in the origin, both sign of its x coordinate and y coordinate changes. Okay, and once again you have to remember equation of x-axis is y is equal to 0, equation of y-axis is x is equal to 0, and you can reflect these problems, these points, reflect it in x-axis. These two do by yourself. These two reflect in the y-axis and these 2 points reflect it in the origin, and you can check whether your answer is correct or not. I will show that. You can do it by yourself. Try to do by yourself, and after that you can check with this answer. Okay, now we can do some questions. In exercise 12a, some questions are there that are very easy questions and you can do by yourself, just reflecting points only. Now exercise 12b, question number 1. Listen. Attempt this question on a graph paper. Plot A and B on a graph paper. So you have to take a graph paper and draw x-axis and y-axis. Then plot A and B. We can plot this A and B. You can see A is 3, 2 and B is 5, 4. Plot these 2 points. These 2 points first. Plot these 2 points. Then reflect A and B in the x-axis. We know reflect A and B both in the x-axis. This is this axis. You will get, it becomes A dash is, you can write it first. A dash is 3 minus 2 and B dash is 5 minus 4. The sign of its y coordinate only changes. Okay. Now reflect it and you will get these 2 points, A dash and B dash. and write down the geometrical name of the figure ABB dash A. So just to join this, and you can see it is a quadrilateral, and exact name, you have to write the exact name of this quadrilateral. What is it? You can see it is a trapezium, but a specific name is needed. That is, we can see the non-parallel sides are equal. Therefore, the name of the figure is isosceles trapezium, right? Isosceles trapezium. The image of A2 dash of A when A is reflected in the origin. We know that A is reflected in the origin. The image is -3, -2. Then the single transformation that maps to A dash to A2 dash. You can see A dash to A2 dash. Here you can see the sign of its x coordinate changes. Therefore, reflected in the y axis. That is the answer. Okay. Now question number 8. Points A and B have coordinates A 3, 4 and B is 0, 2. This is 0, 2. You can plot the points here, draw graph and plot these 2 points. A dash of A under reflection in the x-axis. So we can write A dash, that is 3 minus 4. Okay, so mark here. Okay, and B dash of B under reflection in the line A dash. So first join A dash. B dash is under reflection A dash. Consider A dash as mirror. Therefore B is here. So B dash is at this same distance behind the mirror, that is B dash is here. So you can write B dash is 6, 2. And C, A2 dash of A under reflection in the y axis. A2 dash reflection in the y axis. So first you can write A2 dash is -3, 4 and mark it here. A2 dash here. And next is B2 dash of B under the reflection A2 dash. Therefore join A2 dash and reflect B under this mirror. It becomes 0, 6. You can see this. It's very clear. Okay, so B2 dash is 0, 6. Now question number 10. The points 5, 3. The point 5, 3. Sorry, question number 11. The point P 3, 4 is reflected to P dash in the x-axis and O dash is the image of O when reflected in the line P dash. Write the coordinates of P dash and O dash. Draw graph sheet. Draw x-axis and y-axis as usual. Then mark the point P 3, 4. Then reflect P to P dash in the x-axis. So mark P 3, 4 and P dash x-axis. Therefore its y coordinate changes. So P dash is 3 minus 4. First you can write 3 minus 4. Then mark here P dash. And then O dash is the image of O when reflected in P dash. So P dash join P dash. And this O becomes here O dash, that is 6, 0. O dash is 6, 0. You can see here. Then find the length of P dash. You can see P dash is from here to here, the distance is 4. From here to here, that is also 4. Therefore P dash is 8. And what is O dash? It is obviously 6, right? Now the question is perimeter of the quadrilateral P dash O dash. So join this. What type of figure is it? From your graph sheet you can see that it is a rhombus because diagonals bisect each other at 90 degree and this angle is not 90 degree. Therefore you can say that it is a rhombus. It is not a square, it is a rhombus. Okay, so write the exact name. Then find the perimeter. We know that perimeter is the sum of the length of 4 sides. That is, you can use Pythagoras theorem for finding the this length, length of one side. Suppose this side is 4, this side is 3. So it is a right angled triangle. Therefore, what is PO? PO is PO square is equal to PR square plus OR square. That is 4 square plus 3 square. That is 16 plus 9 is equal to 25. Therefore, PO is equal to 5. So, what is the perimeter of this figure? 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. That is 20 units. That is 4 into 5, 20 units. Okay. Now, to one more question. Question number 50. You can say, using graph paper, plot the points 6, 4 and 0, 4. First you can plot 6, 4 and 0, 4, A and B. Reflect A and B in the origin. So you just change the sign of its x coordinate and y coordinate. That is A dash and B dash, you can see, and mark these 2 points. Okay, write the coordinates of A dash and B dash first. Then state the geometrical name for the figure. You just join all these points and you can see a figure here. What is the figure? It is very clear. It is a parallelogram. And find the perimeter. Like the previous question, you can find the perimeter of this figure. Okay. So, you have to read the question carefully and mark the point correctly. Okay, then reflect it correctly and you will get the correct figure. Okay, do it very carefully and you will get mark. You will get full mark for this question if you do it very carefully. Okay, let's wind up our class. Thank you.